presentation.
Goeienaand, dit is tyd vir Fokus hier op SABC 2. Ek is Lenet Francis, welkom. Bietjie later besoek ons Port Elizabeth om te hoor wat die DA se planne is indien hulle met 'n koalisiebeheer van die stad oorneem. Dis in die lig van al die probleme wat inwoners van veral die noordelike gebiede ondervind. Die stryd om toesig oor kinders is dikwels 'n moeilike besluit, maar is baie meer ingewikkeld wanneer die stryd tussen ouers oor landsgrense heen beklein word. Dis nou reeds so wat 2 weke sedert Michael Clement en sy dogter Mia terug is in Suid-Afrika. Hy was in 'n jarelange stryd met sy eksvrou Janka gewikkel om toesig oor Mia te verkry toe sy vrou na hulle egskeiding teruggekeer het na Slowakye. Na haar dood moes Clement sy stryd voortsit, die keer met sy skoonouers om sy dogter terug te kry. Hy het onlangs sy dogter uit haar skool in sentraal Slowakye ontvoer, maar 'n uur later die skoolhoof laat weet dat die kind by hom is. Met Interpol warm op sy spoor moes Clement terselfdertyd die regstelsel in 2 lande gebruik om sy dogter terug te kry. Fokusregisseur Lulien Reed vertel die storie en Dani Juffers was agter die kamera.
'n Pa vasbeslote om sy gesinslewe te normaliseer. Michael Clement is op Interpol se lys van gesoekte persone geplaas en is in 'n swak lig gestel deur die Slowakiese media. Pa en dogter was lank op vrye voet en het die owerhede ontduik. Mia is in haar ouma se toesig geplaas in Slowakye, maar haar pa wou toesig kry veral nadat die dogter se ma oorlede is.
What we would like the South African government to help us with is an emergency travel passport for Mia, ASAP, and then also possibly diplomatic immunity for the both of us so that we can actually travel out of Europe, some sort of government support or, that we are actually allowed out of Europe. Ethic is not a problem. I can buy one with ease. We just want to get out of Europe and get back into South Africa.
Clement het tydens sy desperate pogings verskeie sosiale media veldtogte begin om bewusmaking oor sy stryd te skep. Sommige inwoners in die baai het 'n stille protesoptog gehou ter ondersteuning van die Clements.
I love Daddy and I want to go with him home.
Okay, please help us. This is really a serious matter. South African government, get us out of Europe one way or the other and put pressure on the Slovakian government. What they're doing is wrong. Wrong. How can you give a child to a grandmother while the father's still alive? He's not a criminal. He's not a convict. I'm not a pedophile. I'm not a drug addict. I'm nothing. I'm a good businessman and I work with children with karate and hockey. Please help us get home to South Africa.
Op 27 Julie 2016 was daar 'n groot deurbraak in die Clement saak.
We've won the court case. She now belongs to me. I've got sole custody. All cases has been dropped against me with Interpol. No search warrant, no arrest warrant. We're on our way back.
Vlugnommer EK337 vanaf Dubai na Kaapstad Internasionale Lughawe het net voor middagete geland. Min het die medepassasiers aan boord die vlug geweet deur watter beproewings die pa en dogter is. Michael Clement het vir weke lank die polisie in Slowakye ontduik nadat hy sy dogter by haar skool ontvoer het. Hy verduidelik hoe hy vir weke lank in vrees geleef het omdat hy geweet het dat sy lewe in 'n oogwink kan verander.
There's a few more days left before the end of the year school break, their summer break, and we decided let's go do it. I actually went with my eldest daughter up. We went up firstly. We tried on the Monday to do evac first, but then we were told there's a precautionary, we can't do it. The timing, because the people that were watching her said the timing was not right because they came out of the house 15 or 20 minutes later than normal as their previous schedule. So we went then on the Tuesday. Everything we saw, everything was done right. The two guys at the house said everything's A-okay via walkie-talkie. We then went to the school. We waited up at the front door, and we saw Mia coming up the stairs. My eldest daughter actually went out with one of the guys, took her. She got a bit of a fright. When I got out the car, everything was A-okay.
Hy praat van hul eerste terugslag.
When they find out that the child is missing, they close the borders within 45 minutes. So we had to rush. So we rushed, we got through to Hungary border and through up to Vienna, Vienna embassy, South African embassy, and then we started getting problems with the passport. So that was a 5-week wait.
Clement sê hy het weke lank die owerhede op 'n dwaalspoor gesit deur kort sy blyplek te verander.
I had good friends that helped us out. They want to be anonymous. They kept us from one safe house to another hotel to a safe house. I was also loaned iPads and telephones with different SIM cards to be able to communicate. We communicated mostly on Facebook and WhatsApp because it was encrypted. She's missing her grandmother. She hasn't seen her grandmother for about 3 years.
And I want my puppy.
She wants a puppy.
Indien die owerhede in Slowakye nie wou saamwerk nie, sou hy ander opsies oorweeg.
Here we go, Mia. She's amazed. Are you happy to be home? If we weren't going to win the court case, we had two other options. It would have been expensive, but we had evacuation options where actually a mother who has a single mother, the father passed away, who has a daughter that looks very similar to me, was going to use her passport to get her to South Africa. So we had other options on the ball, but but that would have then made me an illegal. I would never be able to leave South Africa ever in my life. So my sporting connections with karate and hockey would have been gone.
Die ambassade het geweier om 'n nuwe paspoort aan Mia uit te reik omdat haar huidige paspoort nog geldig is.
So we somehow had to get the grandparents to admit that the passport was lost. So via the Prague advocate, she pushed my attorneys in Slovakia to actually file a charge against the grandparents that the passports, which don't belong to them, they must file either lost or hand them over. Because if it's a South African passport, they should hand over to an embassy. So then that was done, and then we still couldn't do nothing until the custody was, because we went again to the embassy said, cannot give you're not the custodian. But you've got a paper that says in South Africa you're sole custodian of your child, but it was in Slovakia, temporary custody was given to the grandmother, which was also done quite illegally because the magistrate didn't even know about my whereabouts.
We made submissions according to South African law because when a foreign court is sitting as a court that is hearing an application under the Hague Convention, it is bound in terms of the convention to accept the laws of the requesting country and apply those in determining the application. Now, we had made submissions to them, told them that in terms of South African law, Mr. Clement has now become the sole holder of parental rights. He has become Mia's sole guardian following the mother's demise. So we could not understand why there was still ongoing litigation.
They've now implemented the South African court order, which is the sole custody. Because the first ever case that we did, my ex-late wife, she tried to get custody in Slovakia, and the Slovakian courts ruled that they have no jurisdiction on custody battles in Slovakia because Mia's habitual residence is South Africa.
Te midde van al hul uitdagings sê Clement dit is noodsaaklik dat Mia haar bande met haar grootouers behou.
For the benefit of Mia, we must. It is her mother's side. Maybe the relations with me might not be the same, but we still got to keep contact with the grandparents. As soon as we just a little bit more settled into the country, she will have her own mobile, her cell phone. She will have an iPad, so she can speak on a mobile every day if they want to.
Intussen het Mia reeds aangepas by haar nuwe roetine.
We're going to play games, we're watching TV, I have homeschool.
And you started hip-hop classes, huh? Yeah, well, it's 2 weeks now back in South Africa. A little bit of adaptation, but Mia's taking it very, very well. Enjoying life. We're spending 99% of the time together. Only when she's at homeschool, I don't see her, but otherwise we're together. As you've heard, she started homeschool, bit of hip-hop classes. She's got to a big birthday party already. We're busy organizing her birthday party for 2 weeks' time. Hey, you can't wait, hey? And yes.
And I'm so happy that I'm going to have a little doggy.
Net hierna kyk ons na die wetlike aspekte van so 'n besluit om toesig oor jou kind te kry wanneer jy in die vreemde is. Bly gerus ingeskakel. Welkom terug by Fokus. 'n Kind wat deur een ouer ontvoer en na 'n ander land geneem word deur die Den Haagse konvensie beskerm teen die skadelike gevolge van hulle onregmatige verwydering en dit beskerm ook hulle behoud. Die konvensie wat deur verskeie lande onderteken is, verseker ook die vinnige terugkeer na die staat van die kind se gewone verblyf ter wille van die beskerming van ouers se regte tot toegang. Maar dit is nie altyd die geval nie. Baie Suid-Afrikaners wat in 'n stryd gewikkel is om hulle kinders terug in hulle sorg te kry, word deur die stelsel in die steek gelaat. Dis dikwels omdat hulle nie die geld of kontakte het om hulle saak verder te voer nie. Hier is deel 2 van Jolien Reed en Dani Juffer se verslag.
Clement het 'n beroep gedoen op die regering om strenger op te tree teen lande wat deel vorm van die Den Haag konvensie.
I just hope this will inspire mothers and fathers that have lost children in this same way to just fight. And I also hope that if it is South Africans that are fighting this, that government will help a little bit more. You know, it is important that government also gets behind their own citizens because we are part of the Hague Convention. And to me, it seems like we do follow the Hague Convention, but it's the other countries that don't follow the Hague Convention. Slovakia didn't follow the Hague Convention. And I've heard of other instances like China or even Egypt. They don't follow it.
All multilateral international treaties, each jurisdiction applies the treaty as they deem fit, but within the broad parameters of the provisions of the treaty itself. So we find ourselves in a situation where the application differs from country to country. Some countries are prepared to work with us up to the litigation point and then say the left behind parent must get their own legal representation, for instance. In some jurisdictions, we will be told that we will back up the left behind parent only if he agrees that we take the matter through a process of mediation first. And some countries will go all the way with the application up to and including the necessary appeals if the need arises for an appeal. But being a multilateral treaty, the terms are very broad, and when these treaties are drawn up, cognizance is taken specifically not to make inroads into the authenticity and the sovereignty of each and every state that is participating in the treaty.
Advokaat Siyabi Matope sê Suid-Afrikaners wat met burgers van ander lande in 'n verhouding is, moet al huiswerk doen veral waar toesig oor kinders ter sprake is.
There are countries that do not recognize guardianship over children of the mother. There are practices that say guardianship of children is shared between the father and the father's mother only, to the exclusion of the biological mother. It is very, very important to understand those things, not just the legal practices. Religious practices also play a part. So, you know, much as when people fall in love, these things are not high up in their minds. It would help parents to dig a little deeper, just in case conflict arises or there's a dispute and the dispute needs to be settled legally.
Sy waarsku dat mense op die uitkyk moet wees vir waarskuwingstekens.
About a week before an abduction happens, these things will manifest. You'll see packed toys, you'll see packed clothes in a cupboard, which are not the usual manner in which children's clothes are being packed and so on. But do be vigilant. You will see. Make sure that you know where the traveling documents are kept, where are the potential loopholes of those traveling documents being disappearing, you know, and contact the authorities. You can also notify the Home Affairs Department that no travel documents should be issued. It is a regulation that travel documents should not be issued without the consent of the other parent, but we know there is fraud.
Hoewel sy stryd hom duisende rande uit die sak gejaag het, was dit alles die moeite werd.
If it's an overseas matter, it is quite expensive to get there. It is quite expensive attorneys and that. But the love of your child is something that you can't give up. It's very difficult to explain, but you've got to go for it. You've got to, your heart and your soul and your belief in God is what will get you going, what will keep you going.
Al Fokus se pogings om ook met Mia se ma se familie te praat was onsuksesvol. Fokus het ook kontak gemaak met 'n groep op Facebook met die naam Telling Young's Story, maar hulle het ook geweier om met ons te praat. Het die DA 'n plan om die probleme in Port Elizabeth se noordelike woongebiede op te los? Na die breek vind ons uit. Moenie weggaan nie. Jaar gelede het tientalle mense in die eerste week van Augustus 1990 hul lewens verloor in die noordelike voorstede van Port Elizabeth toe die gebied in vlamme opgegaan het. Die gemeenskap was ontevrede oor die verhoogde huurgeld en was slaags met die destydse onluspolisie. Sedertdien gaan die gebied steeds gebuk onder talle probleme, onder meer bendegeweld. Regisseur Keith Suister en kameraman Benito Karel sê twee mense wie se lewens deur die onluste verander is gaan besoek en ook probeer uitvind hoe die DA die probleme sou probeer oplos indien hulle wel die week 'n koalisie bereik en beheer van die stad oorneem. Hier is hul verslag.
26 jaar gelede in Augustus het die noordelike voorstede van Port Elizabeth in vlamme opgegaan. Duisende mense het die strate ingevaar. Woonbuurte soos Bloemendaal, Arcadia, Windvogel, Galvandale en Shorterville was aan die brand. En dit terwyl oud-president Nelson Mandela en F.W. de Klerk vredesgesprekke gehou het. Die 70-jarige Gail Solomon van Galvandale het haar seun Elliot Bloemetjies tydens die onluste aan die dood afgestaan. Hy was 'n omstander in Arcadia en is deur die onluste polisie geskiet. Die seer lê nog vlak by haar.
Daar's kinders wat paans verloor het. Daar's kinders wat moeders verloor het. Alles winkeleienaars het winkels verloor, besighede, geld en alles daai. Maar daar is nog plekke wat onklaar staan, wat nog eens na gesien is nie. Nou voel ek so seer, want is bloed wat gevloei het. En daai bloed wat gevloei het gevloei vir ons kleerlingmense, wat ook vandag kan wees waar hulle is. Want ons kleerlingmense het mos nie posisies gehad nie. En die geveg wat aangegaan het, was oor die apartheidjare. Dit het alles ingekom by die apartheidjare. En my hart is baie seer as ek dink my seun sou daai selfe jaar 21 geword het.
Baie geboue en privaat eiendomme is tydens die onluste afgebrand en vernietig. Highfield en Durbanweg in Shorterville het kwaai deurgeloop. Na Augustus 1990 het baie van hierdie winkels in Highfieldweg hier in Shorterville nooit weer hul deure oopgemaak nie. Die onluste het destyds in Bloemendaal begin. Gemeenskappe van die woonbuurt het oor verhoogde huur gekla. Godfrey Eckley was destyds 'n jong aktivis wat aan die spits van die ongelukkigheid was. Hy vertel wat die dag voor die onluste uitgebreek het gebeur het.
Wat gebeur het die 6 Augustus 1990 is dat ons het gebeweeg uit Braasstraat uit op na die Chetty Rent Office waar ons 'n memorandum oorhandig het aan die destydse Port Elizabeth munisipaliteit se amptenare. Daarvan af het ons dan afbeweeg Bertramstraat. Daar die eerste probleem begin met die hippo of die Casper verskoon my wat dwars oor die pad getrek gewees het. Ek in my kapasiteit destyds as die ondervoorsitter van die Chetty Action Committee het die massa gestop sodat daar nie konflik tussen die massa en die polisie moet wees nie. Ek het gegaan met die toestemmingbrief, gaan wys vir die polisie. Hulle het ons dan toe deurgelaat. Daarna het ons gekom na Greenville Sportsveld toe, waar ons die mense geadresseer het. Ons tyd het 11:30 opgehou, maar net na 11 het 3 Caspers uit die rigting na van Bereldorp Polisiekamp gekom, op die veld gekom. Weer eens het ek met die toestemmingbrief na die kaptein gegaan en gesê, ons tyd is nog nie verstreke nie. Hy het vir my gesê dat ek gee julle 5 minute en die 5 minute wat snaaks genoeg was getel 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 en daarna het die skote afgegaan.
Die baie se noordelike voorstede het hier in 1990 nooit regtig herstel nie. Bendegeweld en dwelmmisbruik het toegeneem. Gemeenskappe hier sê hulle suig aan die agterspeen, maar die Demokratiese Alliansie meen hulle gaan wanneer hulle 'n koalisie vorm en aan bewind kom, die metrostelsel matig verbeter.
Die uitdagings is enorm. So onderwys sal deur die nasionale regering, provinsiale regering en die munisipaliteit moet aangepak word. Misdaad sal moet aangepak word deur die munisipaliteit met 'n metropolisiemag wat saamwerk met die Suid-Afrikaanse polisie en dat daar ook intelligence, die inwin van intelligence is belangrik, want op die oomblik is daar niks. Die mense in die straat weet wie is die bende lid. Die mense in die straat weet waar is die smokkelhuis, maar die polisie weet dit nie. Dit is vir my eienaardig. Dit sal moet opgeklaar word onmiddellik en ons moet mense wat werkloos is in daai gebiede aanstel om metropolisiebeamptes te word. Want hulle ken die areas. Hulle is die mense wat sonder werk sit. Dis ons kinders en ons dogters. So daar is 'n oplossing. Ons sal daai oplossing kry. Ek weet dit gaan nie oornag gebeur nie, maar ons sal dit kry.
Maar die seer en die wonde wat die dood van meer as 40 mense vir baie huishoudings gebring het, sal seker nooit ooit uit die gedagtes van baie inwoners in die baie se noordelike voorstede verdwyn nie.
Maar soos altyd hou ons oog op die baai en ons sal terugvoer gee wanneer daardie planne in werking is. Ons is volgende Sondag aand om 6:00 terug hier op SABC 2. Soos altyd nooi ons jou om terug te praat, stuur gerus die voorstelle, kommentaar en tweets. Skryf net die woord Fokus, gevolg deur 'n kort boodskap en SMS dit na 34444. 'n SMS kos R2. Besoek ook ons nuwe Fokusblad op Facebook. Soek onder by Fokus SABC en volg ons ook op Twitter by Fokus ZA. Ons vertrou, dis 'n goeie week. Tot volgende Sondag aand dan om 6:00. Mooi bly.